If you're looking to massively increase your sales, build an influential profile, and turn your business around quickly, publicity is one of the best strategies that you can employ. Regardless of whether you're a consultant, artist, web developer, author, or entrepreneur, it's totally irrelevant. The question is, how do I get major publicity that gives my business, my product or service, and my brand the exposure it needs to hit critical mass in sales? Over the years, I've spoken to and been mentored by many interesting people when it comes to getting media, including friends and publicists that have worked on the hugely successful The Secret DVD release by Rhonda Byrne. But it was my conversation with a former award-winning Oprah producer that was a total eye-opener, and it taught me a ton about positioning myself and my clients, of whom have been featured in the likes of the Huffington Post, Vogue, CLEO, CNN, BBC, and more. So, in this week's episode of The Agent of Influence, I'm going to share with you precisely what I learned from an award-winning Oprah producer about getting major publicity and how you can apply it in your own business. Keep watching right now. Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of The Agent of Influence. I'm best-selling author Ben Angel. Before I had these lightning bolts of conversations around how to get major publicity, among many successes, I also had a ton of failure. Maybe you can relate. I'd sent out press releases with no response. I'd sat by the phone waiting for it to ring. My replies to media requests went unanswered. I'd expected people to sit up and take notice, but they didn't even realize that I existed at the time. And hiring a publicist? Well, that turned out to be a massive waste of money and cause of frustration. Does this sound familiar to you? Well, I'm not particularly proud of my failures. I have learned that failing fast, failing early, and failing often is the best way to build acceleration towards success. Part of succeeding is being able to fail. Pick yourself up, understand where you went wrong, and try a new angle. An approach that I've taken to achieve fantastic results since then. Employing these strategies have played a massive part in fast growing my digital following to over 50,000 worldwide. Not to mention getting featured on Channel 7 Sunrise and even making a very brief appearance on the controversial show The Real Housewives of Melbourne. I want you to think for a minute though. Just imagine what getting major publicity coverage could mean for you. The fact is that you can continue to be a wallflower that everyone overlooks, or you can choose to do something about it. You can take on the mainstream media and gain publicity. You can develop your own brand and values and learn to showcase yourself to capture attention. Attention that shifts public opinion and means you finally get taken seriously. Attention that helps you to increase your sales. Establish yourself as an authority figure within your industry. Catapult your conversion rates. Capture and connect with tens of thousands of social media fans. Secure 6 to 7 figure sales within a short period of time. I want you to understand that instant credibility equals instant cash flow. But how many do you know with unique stories, businesses, products and services that constantly go unnoticed, unrecognized and unpaid? Some of the best advice I ever had came from a former Oprah producer. She said to me, the simple matter of fact is that you have to be interesting. I get it. It sounds overly simple. It's when you know how to plan, package, and market your story that success comes quickly. But what happens to most? They give up after their first lot of rejection and quit. Why? They fail to be interesting. Let me be clear, however, it's not because they aren't interesting. It's just that they haven't learned which key aspects of their story to put forward to engage the interest of the media. There's always a story, and it doesn't matter what product or service you sell or industry you work in. From my experience of over 10 years, there's always a story. I've helped people from all walks of life get major publicity, including fashion designers, business coaches, creators of sports drinks, psychologists, and even local councils. The opportunities out there for people are endless. But before we can continue, I want you to listen closely because I have two vital questions to ask you right now. Number one, are you concerned about what people think of you? And number two, are you worried you'll put yourself out there and get rejected? If you said a resounding yes, then I want you to get excited because today's your lucky day. I'm going to share with you some personal insights that will make all of the difference in the world. Insights that will help you troubleshoot the number one reason why you fail to consistently get major media coverage. Let's dive in straight away. Get a pen and paper immediately. Insight number one, never ever apologize for who you are. When I ask people what's your biggest concern about getting publicity, 99% of them say fear of rejection. I'm going to give you the exact same advice that I received from Danette, the former Oprah producer. Don't apologize for who you are, be proud of it. The more personality you show, the better. Which do you think the media would be more attracted to? Someone who's not afraid to express an opinion and support it, or someone who hesitates to say what they think? Which are you more likely to watch on TV? Someone who entertains because their personality shows, or someone who's polite and bland and, let's face it, boring as batshit? The journalists know that if you can't interest them, you'll probably bore the pants off their audience, which means you're out the door before you even begin. Insight number two, stereotype yourself to stand out. The media are always on the lookout for interesting people, particularly those with interesting stories to go along with it. You need to have a position or an opinion on topics that are important in your industry and some sort of stories you can call on to support your case. If you don't have a set of stories in your toolkit, go find some right now. Danette said to me in one of our many telephone conversations, "Ben, I can see where you fit into the scheme of things." This to me was a real epiphany at the time, even though I'd heard it 100 times before and routinely told my clients the same advice. Sometimes it's not the advice, it's where it comes from that makes it really sink in and makes you say to yourself, I really need to listen closely here. You see, you need to understand that it's unlikely that an audience will know who you are or the business is that you represent. So the media will need to explain who you are and why you're worth watching. You can leave it up to them to define you, or you can define yourself. Personally, I want to choose how I'm portrayed in the media to the best of my ability. If you don't have a particular fit for yourself already or stereotype, then make one. Otherwise, you'll find that others will stereotype you and you might not like where you end up. Or worst case scenario, they may not be able to place you in context for the audience to understand your involvement in the first place, which means they'll ignore you. Stereotyping yourself into a particular category when it comes to pitching to the media is one of the first and most powerful steps I take with my clients that get major coverage. And to do this, the following mix of elements must be just right. Jot these down. Number one, create a compelling bio packed with intrigue and credibility. 2, present a story that's unique, provocative, and entertaining. 3, pitch a packaged personal brand that allows you to grab their attention immediately. Number 4, provide a media one-pager that includes images of the spokesperson or the brand, segment pitches for TV and radio, and a short bio that asserts your status as an expert in your field or that of your clients. Understand that no real media strategy is complete without the inclusion of these well-researched elements, and that's just the beginning. Insight number 3, refine the image that you wish to portray. Danette said to me, and I don't mean to boast, okay, maybe I do, "Ben, you look great on camera." Well, you want to know something? I've had to work really hard at creating this groomed, authentic, amplified version of myself to present to the public. So looking great on camera isn't an accident by any means. I grew up on a farm, and if I can do it, I know that you definitely can. I want you to really think about this. You may be interesting and you may fit nicely into the context of a story, but if you don't look like what people expect you to look like, i.e. the expert that you present yourself to be, then your involvement in the story won't make any sense. Think about what you're wearing, how you stand, and even how you speak. Look the part. And let me be ultra clear right now. This is often the one step that many people don't place enough importance on. It's also the one step that unravels their entire media strategy. A strategy that could grow their fan base by tens of thousands overnight. Having produced segments on Oprah, Danette emphasized this point incredibly strongly. If people didn't look great on camera, they had no hope in hell of stepping out on stage with Oprah Winfrey standing right next to them. What does this mean for you? Dress to match your industry. Keep your hairstyle and clothes up to date and well groomed. Your fashion sense should also reflect your personality. This is where personal branding comes into full fruition. Next time you open up a magazine, turn the TV on or read the newspaper, take a look at the images of those they feature. What attributes do they possess? Getting major coverage is simply applying a very specific formula. A formula that's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales when you play your cards right. It's all in the execution and paying attention to the things that people don't believe are important that make all of the difference. These were the 3 profoundly simple yet powerful insights from someone who knows how the media mill works in one of the most competitive areas in the world. Of course, there's much more to it than that, and I cover even more insights for you in my best-selling online program, the Publicity Project. But for now, I want to give you something to start with. Begin by completing this sentence and fill in the blank. I am an blank expert. For example, I'm an expert in personal branding and marketing. It indicates to the media where I fit in relation to breaking news and segment ideas. Think long and hard about how you fit into the current landscape. Now, once you've worked on being interesting, becoming stereotypical and suitably groomed from head to toe, what happens next? Well, here's 3 bonus tips to get you started quickly. You're a polished product or you're well on your way to it. If so, it's time to get noticed by the media. But how are they going to find you? There are plenty of people demanding their attention. What are you going to do to stand out? This is where your personal brand and values really become critical. Something that I've written extensively about in my best-selling book, Click: The New Science of Influence. Let's begin now with a few bonus tips to help you out. Beginning with tip number 1. Be prepared for your media opportunities even before they arrive. Work out what you can comment on and how. Work out your core message and how you might reflect that in media stories. Create some templates so you can respond to media opportunities as soon as they appear so you can beat out the competition. If you give the media what they want, they won't look for anyone else, and you'll create for yourself endless future opportunities. Number 2, get your media list ready. It's awesome to have a great angle or story, but if you don't have anyone to share it with, well, what's the point? Which media will put you in front of your target audience? Do your research and check out TV shows, magazines, radio, every form of media, and work out which ones your target audience is likely to be watching. Those are the ones that need to be at the top of your media hit list. Having an Excel spreadsheet of email addresses becomes absolutely vital at this point in the game, especially when you're ready to hit the ground running and you've perfected your pitches and press releases. And finally, number 3, don't sit and wait. Get up and chase publicity. Discover and practice the art of the pitch, where you email and sell a media producer or editor on a story idea that you could be a key part of. Timing is everything. As an expert, you must be available to comment on things as they happen, or it's yesterday's news. And there's even more. There's a certain technique involved when approaching the media. When you're writing to your media contacts, you need to alert them to the problems or the situation and offer a couple of solutions and segment ideas. But don't give it all away. Otherwise, you'll leave them with no reason to include you. Allude to the fact that you have more to share and that you'd love the opportunity to be able to do that with their audience. A highly conversational approach will work better than a formal letter will anytime. It shows that you're down to earth and approachable, another huge media-friendly quality. You see, over 10 years of successfully being featured in the media myself, from CNN, Channel 7, Channel 9, GQ Men's Magazine, and countless newspapers and magazines, I've collated various templates that help make this process easy. Create a folder in your own inbox so you can begin to store your own successful campaigns for later reference. Publicity exposure will help your business to be seen by those who need to see it. It's got the power to make your business, boosting your audience and pushing cash your way. Regardless of what kind of industry you're in, you need publicity. Wouldn't you just love to put your business in front of hundreds of thousands of people to get the exposure that you really need to make your business a success? Are you serious about this? I've shared a lot of information here, but I need to make the point that this is only just the beginning. Of course there's a lot more to it, or everyone would already be getting all the publicity they want, right? Well, your best advantage comes from learning from real-life case studies that give insight into what really happens behind the scenes of a major PR campaign, and the ability to access media contacts when you need them. And if you resonate with this video, be sure to share the love and share this post with friends or colleagues that can benefit from it. You can help us reach thousands. In the meantime, if you want to learn advanced strategies for getting major publicity exposure for your business, click on the link below this video right now to learn more about my best-selling program, The Publicity Project. Thousands of businesses internationally rely on this program to help them get featured in media such as the Huffington Post, Vogue, CLEO, CNN, BBC, and countless others. It even includes access to over 15,000 media contacts in Australia, the US, and the UK. Check it out now, and I'll see you again shortly for another episode of The Agent of Influence. Take care and good luck.